Do you know what time it is? It's time to interview an amazing dude. I'm here in Milan, though I'm speaking English because we'll be speaking English, and I will be interviewing Ted Gushue. So come with me and let's go find what is Ted wearing today. We're finally there with you, Ted. Ted Gushue, thanks for having me, and thanks for bringing me part of your collection. As we're saying, something is changing here. Now I'm going to see you more often here, right?
Yes, that's the case. We're actually sitting in what will be my future office here for ERG Media in Milan, which I'm very excited about. My first proper office in like 7 years. So building a bit of a foothold, pied-à-terre, as they might say. So then upstairs we'll be doing our home, which would be great, that Matilda and I share. So this will become really our base in Milan. And then obviously continuing to travel around and move from country to country based on the projects that we're doing. But as a result of us being more and more Milan, I've kind of tailored the watches that I keep here to be a bit more Milanese friendly, let's say. So Milan, like any other city in Europe right now, is facing the same challenges that London is with watch crime, etc., etc. So I like to keep a much lower profile here, which means that I look for pieces that I can still super enjoy, but make me less of a target to somebody that is looking to do something awful.
They're still fun though, still super fun.
I don't think of it as I don't feel limited, let's say, but I seek out watches that I think are a bit more playful, a bit more light, a bit less trying to make a statement to somebody, but they really mean something to me. So yeah, it's a pleasure to share my collection with you.
Thank you, pleasure's mine. Well, before diving deep in the collection, for those who don't know you already, but I think there are really few here, who is Ted in few words? Like, how would you define yourself? Yeah, I know it's hard.
Wow, let's see. I'm a creative director, a photographer, a producer. We have an agency, a multifaceted agency that produces brands like Type 7 for Porsche. So that we run a magazine on behalf of Porsche that really covers the world of art, architecture, design, and air-cooled and water-cooled Porsches. So there's that we create. Then we create films for fashion clients. We do social media management for luxury destinations like the town of St. Moritz. We're an agency. So I run the agency, and it's happened and built and grown very organically over the last 5 years or so since I left Petrolicious in 2017, and yeah, it's been an incredible ride. So I still do a lot of photography, which is like my personal passion, and then a bit of writing here and there. And,
awesome. And how did you get in touch with watches? Like, how did it all begin?
Very simply, my father is an architect, and he is the architect for a very prominent jeweler in Greenwich, Connecticut, where I grew up. Which is called Manfredi, and Manfredi is one of the best retailers of independent watchmaking, high-end watchmaking. They've always been huge champions in the Northeast of the United States for all sorts of watch brands that you could possibly imagine, ranging all the way from Seiko Prospex all the way to Vacheron Constantin. So you have a really great selection that I was raised around, because my father's been his architect for 30 years. So we've always, my dad would oftentimes get paid a little bit in a watch, or he always had watches coming and going. So literally since I was born, my father always had interesting watches around. And I was fascinated with them and spent a lot of time going to visit the jewelry store because he was his job site. And it's an ever-evolving jewelry store, so he is still working for him 30 years later. So let's say Rolex wants to change their shop-in-shop.
Okay.
My dad will design that. So he's always kept with the watch world very close to his heart and to his work. And as a result, it just trickled down to me. And I share the passion. So a lot of the watches that I kind of shared from my father's time when I was very young, I keep in a safe in Switzerland. It's a bit safer for these things because they're a bit more high value. But when I'm on the road, or if I'm in a city like Milan, I love to explore all the brands that make me really happy without making me really stressed.
Yeah. I mean, and you also like good cars, so maybe also with a good car, riding a good car, you're kind of a target now. It's bad to say that, but
I don't know if it's a target thing. I just prefer to lay low and enjoy what I like here.
I think that a piece like that or that, it's more of a conversation starter and something that maybe gets you to bond with someone more than, you know, the average, maybe also, you know, super high-end whatever watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Each one of these watches has a story, and I'm personally connected to all of them. So I don't know how you want to start off or which one you want to begin with. But
I don't know. I mean, you said Porsche, so I'd say we begin with one of these two.
Sure. So this is actually one of my latest acquisitions. I found it through my dear friend Arno Haslinger, who is based in Salzburg. And he's kind of one of the preeminent experts on vintage Heuer. And I'd been wanting to get into vintage Heuer for a while, but I kind of always held it off because I found that the prices are so attractive that it's quite addictive. I think you can start going, and when I get into something, I really get into it. So this was my first vintage Heuer that I purchased for myself, that Arno sourced for me. And it's got a beautiful gunmetal effect on the PVD coating for the Monza. It's the Niki Lauda edition. He's got it on an original Tropic strap, which I love. Is Tropic or?
It is, it is.
Tropic strap, which I think is such an elegant look for it. It really kind of gives you that 1970s F1 vibe, let's say. I don't know. I think it's an underappreciated classic. There's still a great value. The movement's good enough. It works well. It's service, so it's not. It keeps decent time when I'm wearing it.
Hard to find them in good condition, and super in the mood with all like vintage Porsches, vintage cars in general. I mean, it's really good looking and super actual. I mean, super modern looking.
Yeah, I think it's a great watch. So I'm very happy to own it. Like I said, one of my more recent pickups, but no, it's good fun.
Yeah, we're lucky. So many recent pickups. And I've seen that when you dive deep into something, it gets addictive. Like with the CDs, we were talking about it now.
Yeah. No, well, one thing I really love when you start playing in the more accessible product categories is you can get addicted to things, and it's fun and it's cheap, and it's not like getting addicted to gold Rolex or something which becomes very expensive very quickly. You know, like I love the new Seiko 5 stuff. Amazing. So like these just came through my friend Jack Carlson, who started Rowing Blazers, and he's been doing a great collaboration series with Seiko, and he's done so many fun designs and shapes. And the result is just a really, really cool, fun, light, easy to wear watch with Japanese numerals, which for me is always like a must-have on a Seiko. If there's a date window, I want Japanese kanji in there, which I think is so fun. There's a really great striped second hand, which is a super fun effect. It's kind of got the little bit of the Rolex dial thing going on, a bit of the Stella dial inspiration, which I think is super hot right now, which, you know.
Yeah, and also the strap pairing is pretty cool.
The strap pairings are super fun. Obviously, they came on a bracelet as well, but I think the straps, you kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
super fun.
I really love.
Internet is flooded with this nowadays. I mean, I was in Geneva looking at my phone, and everyone had them, like Hodinkee or whatever. So it's the first time I see them. Thank you.
It's sold out immediately. So luckily, Jack's a very good friend. So I knew about the project ahead of time. So I said, please save me too. And yeah, he's done such a great job. I'm really, really tickled for him. He's not your typical watch guy. Like he's obsessed with everything. But the watches came out very organically. Yeah. I think, and then he fell in love with Seiko. And then I even have there's a Seiko hat over there. That he did a collaboration with. He takes a brand that is very private and very Japanese and makes it light and fun and airy, and I think he does a great job with it. So
nice.
Happy to.
How about two? One is not for you, right?
No, one's for Matilda. So one of
is she into watches as well?
Yeah.
Do you share some?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
There's a watch that she wears, which is the Coral Dial, the Oyster Perpetual, which I ordered 3 months before I met her, and then it arrived on her birthday. So it became like the perfect birthday present. So there's that.
Yeah, it was destiny then.
And then if we're in Milan, we're 3 blocks away from Unimatic, from their headquarters on Via Cappuccio. So we have to talk about Unimatic, which I think is,
we have 2 there, right?
We have 2 Unimatics here, both in a green kind of theme. So So this is obviously the Automobili Amos quartz
right.
movement watch that they created, which came out of a collaboration between Eugenio Amos, Giovanni Moro, and the designer Carlo Borromeo, who's actually the brother-in-law of Matilda.
Okay, didn't know it.
And it's just a killer watch. I wore this all summer, screw-down crown. You can't go wrong with it. It really has an amazing wrist feel. It's made in titanium. It's bulletproof. You can dive with it to like, I think, let's see, 100 meters maybe?
Well, I mean, you don't need more than that, to be honest.
1,000 feet, which I don't plan on visiting anytime soon. No, but they're killer watches, insane value. I think they're just such cool guys. And like I said, their office is literally around the corner.
Down the street, true.
So I'm really happy.
And it's a whole khaki color, which is super trendy now, like super trending, yeah.
I think it's great. Everything they do is great, and they make me really happy with their designs. And the build quality is crazy. It comes in a beautiful Pelican case that you can reuse. I use mine for cigars as well.
Okay, didn't know. Oh
fun.
yeah, true. Still, and this is the one for the 5 for the
Fondazione Ambiente
Italia. Yeah, which has a super interesting dial. And this is the one, I think, with the gilt dial, which is super interesting.
Like I said, these guys seem to, every time I go into their workshop, they've got a new concept that obviously always draws upon the past, but it takes things to a new level. Because you don't see this combination of modern, historic, but done in a very serious, but also somehow still playful way. I can't describe it. Like the watch looks like the business, but then it also doesn't take itself so seriously. So I think they're just fantastic quality, insane value for money, and so much fun to wear. And like I said, it makes a great statement without putting you in such a risky environment of getting attacked for your watch or something.
Will we see a limited edition with you sometime soon or no?
Possibly. He and I have been talking about it for years, but we haven't finalized anything yet. So.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
This would be quite cool.
Here is an actual, we can call limited edition?
Yeah.
Well,
this was a watch I designed for George Bamford. I had always been in love with the Stella dial corals from the 60s and 70s. And I just wanted this watch to exist, and George made it happen. And then we sold, I think, 5 of them to go with it. So it was a very organic collaboration. It was not designed to be a huge business opportunity. It was more just, I wanted this thing to exist. He agreed, and a few other people did as well. So it's something I'm really proud to own, and I really love the design of. And I think it's just simple, fun, light watch. And Zenith is, it straddles that price point between a bit risky to wear in big cities and something that is safe. But I think that the presentation of this is super light. Yeah. Doesn't really make you a target, but it's
exactly. It's super playful. Yeah. And how was designing it?
It's so fun. It's just, George is one of my best friends, so it's just endless WhatsApps back and forth of just jokes and memes, and then coming up with designs and picking colors and Pantones and nailing it. So he's really, really fun to work with. But he has such an incredible eye for detail, which I think is really embodied super well in his collaboration with G-Shock, which, if you look at it, is really, quite standard from the outside. It's got some blue font. It's nothing remarkable, but then the way in which he incorporates the blue element and creates the bicolor strap and all of these details that just come together to make it a very subtle yet very powerful collaboration without overweighing. It's not too heavy of a collaboration. It's like the perfect balance. And the G-Shock is the ultimate, sketchy city watch. Not that we're in a sketchy city, but you know what I mean? No one's gonna mess with you for a G-Shock. No, so it's that perfect balance of really robust collaboration, great details, super cool story. Love George,
use them
love
for
Bamford.
Skiing.
Use it for skiing, you go diving with it, you go swimming, whatever. Like, these watches go everywhere and they're bulletproof. So yeah, I love what he's done. The Bamford written very elegantly. It's not overdone.
No, it's subtle, but yet super. If you have the eye, you can catch it.
I love it. Yeah. And I love everything he's done with it. I still want to get one of the original G-Shocks that he made. I was too late to the ordering process, but these are cool.
Next time, maybe next time. And so then we have something also related to cars. A lot of stuff. well.
Yes, so this is a collaboration that
Super
was
interesting.
done between Peter Otto, which does all of the super incredible classic car races around Europe. So, like Le Mans Classic, or there's a handful of others that are very important that they do. They're escaping my mind right now. Anyways, they focus on all of the greatest, the Tour Auto, of course. They focus on all of the greatest classic car events in the world. And they do such an amazing job. And then their headquarters is in Paris, and they were connected to Etienne Malek, who is my friend who founded Baltic. And they were looking for a watch partner to make something very special for some of their most loyal competitors, because it's, people have been competing in their events for decades. And they wanted something to commemorate this that wasn't necessarily a $100,000 watch or something like this. They wanted to be something that because the beauty of their events is that you have a billionaire driving a $10 million car, and you'll have somebody who's a shopkeeper who's driving their vintage MG that's worth $20,000. So it's not his events can be very democratic. So I think the pairing between Baltic and Peter Otto is a really organic and really well situated collaboration. So they did this special edition of their chronograph that comes with a really super interesting dash mounted dual stopwatch system, which actually I'm about to install on my car.
Really?
So I don't have a classic Hoyer dash system, but I think this is a super nice thing. I love what Etienne's done. I've been working with him and friends with him since before he started the brand. And I think it's incredible the journey he's been on, how far he's come.
Yeah.
And I think the quality, and again, the value for money is just out of this world.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of what he's done. So I think it would look super cool on the dash of my old 911.
Yeah, I want to see it then. Huh? When you have it installed, well, please call me. We'll do a couple shoots. And another Baltic too, which is the same as the one I'm waiting for, but this is the edition for A Collected Man.
A Collected Man. And Silas Walton's a good friend who really provided many different moments of watch advisory over the years and good friendship. So when he messaged me that they were coming out with this, I was super interested. Obviously, I already know the model. I have another version of this, the normal version you can pick up.
In Salmon or in whatever called?
In Salmon, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a fantastic watch. But what I liked more about the Eclectic Man edition is that they did this vertical pattern brushing on it, which creates a really elegant effect. The other one is brushed all around, so it looks a bit more like the case. But this monodirectional brushing, I find it totally changes the watch, gives it much more of an Art Deco feel, while somehow being a bit more modern. But then you look at the case back, I mean, I don't know who else can get you this level casework at that price. It's almost preposterous. So I think it's just a cool watch. Again, it looks elegant when I wear it to dinner here in Milan. I get compliments all the time. It's a super cool thing. I can see the Collected Man. It's number 280 out of 300.
Oh yeah.
They've done a cool thing. So I really support what they do.
Does it get a lot of wrist time?
More and more as I go out to nice dinners in Milan. It's like I said, it's the perfect thing to wear in the evening because it's such an elegant watch. But on this strap, you can wear it whenever you want, really.
Yeah. And then we have our last one for the moment.
Which one do we have? Ah, yes.
Yeah. That is also a recent edition, right?
No, this I've had for 2-3 years.
Oh,
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of work with the team at Tag Heuer, who I really, really love. And I remember once we did our first big project together, as a thank you, they sent this over to me because I was trying to track one down. They were sold out. And they knew I wanted one, and they had one hidden away. So it was really something that has a lot of meaning to me because I love working with the team, both the international team and the Italian team. So yeah, it's a great brand that now that because of their relationship with Porsche, I have even more excuse to work with them around the clock. So
True.
Big shout out to the Tag Heuer team who
They did an amazing event in Paris, huh?
Yeah,
you were there, right?
Yeah, we were there. We have a lot of fun together.
And you had this one on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I thought it
No,
was
I had
recent.
both. I had both actually in Paris. So
Double wristing?
No, never.
Okay.
But I switched between the two, so
Sure.
it was super fun.
Which one do you use the most driving? Like, do you use a watch drive? Do you find it useful to drive with a watch?
I wear whatever I'm wearing. I don't think I'm much more spontaneous and impulsive with my watches. I'm not so much of a.
You don't pair them with a car.
I want to have this car because it's from 1976.
Yeah.
Going with this watch.
Is there people doing it?
I have to assume but the people. I don't hate on anyone else, but for me, I'm too ADD and too.
Yeah.
I'm just focusing on whatever I'm focusing on in that moment, which allows me to just enjoy it. I think much more honestly, because then if I have to go say, this pairs well with that car.
No, it's too much.
It's too much. I'm just focusing on the day. So
yeah. I thought that. And then for that, thank you for having me. I know you're doing a lot, and
we have a lot of stuff going on.
I wanted to know as well, maybe also not on camera, whatever, about the luggage stuff. Like, what have you done? Because I've seen a lot of interesting projects around, and
no, we work with a great Italian fashion house, a fashion luggage house called FPM Milano, which does. Tutto fatto a mano, vicino Milano. It's super nice quality, beautiful aluminum. We have lots of. I don't know if we have any out at the moment in the house, but I would put it in the same category as a suitcase like Remova or anything like this. So I like it because it's made in Milan. It is properly designed here. It has a story that is more meaningful to me as I move my life here. So I just love working with the guys. They're super fun. So we have some really great projects. It's obviously a bit slow to develop such consumer goods at scale. Mm-hmm. So the lead times to develop new ideas takes time, but we have some cool stuff coming. So excited to share that with you.
Because what I really love is that you have a lot of stuff going on, but it's all related somehow like to your taste and to a storytelling that is behind it, and makes it really cool to look at it. So.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, we try to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're succeeding then. Man, thank you so much for that. Next time we're going upstairs at the library when it's ready for part 2 and a few times for
2 more weeks, they keep saying. So they've been saying that for 3 months.
Yeah, let's do like 1 year. So it's we're sure that it's ready. Which are you already eyeing something? You already have something in mind as the next watch, or you're more than like I see this and I get this?
I'm on the list for the new Pelagos, the
Interesting.
39 millimeter. I think
black
this is
one. You're not waiting for the blue one as I am.
They're gonna do no.
I hope they are.
I like the black. I think the 39 is super nice. I love Tudor as well, so I have a Black Bay 58 up in the mountains.
Yeah, you don't wear big watches, luckily. I mean, just maybe these are. I always love the Giovanni is like big, but still. Yeah. Super wearable. Interesting. Well, I think it's super insightful also because, I mean, with these, I think, with these as well, a lot of young people can get into that. And I don't know about the car world because, our friend Eduardo is trying to bring me inside and eventually I will. But for the watch world, I see a lot of youngster coming inside. And I hope you're doing, I hope that you posting watches and stuff helps them as well, because a lot of young people maybe are getting into the automotive world.
Yeah, I think accessible, fun watches are the future, especially as people desire a more discreet lifestyle. I'm a huge fan of all the super luxury watches. I'm a collector. I'm very passionate. But the more and more that I travel, and the more and more that I hear terrible stories, the more and more I kind of go more towards this stuff, which for me is equally as fun and equally as interesting and causes so many great moments of talking to people, like, someone will tell you my grandfather had that exact watch, I remember, or my dad, whatever. There's always cool stories, and the Unimatic community is really much more of a club than people realize.
It's incredible,
Every time I see someone with a Unimatic, we always become buddies, I feel like. So.
And it's weird because maybe less in Italy than in other countries. Like other countries are obsessed. Italy is like, Unimatic, yeah, I know them, but
no, they're great.
Americans and stuff, super into it. And they're also collectible. I just noticed that the seconds at 10 and not at 9 or whatever. Super interesting. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Guys, let us know which watch was your favorite, and I hope to see some watches on Type 7 as well, maybe.
Perhaps.
Huh? Thanks, man.
My pleasure.
Good luck with everything.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.